We are here for our book club. So the book club this month is Why They Buy by Cheri. So I really enjoyed this book. I'm just going to share it into the group. Yeah, okay, fantastic. Start a watch party. Yay! All right, okay, I've got my technology working. So I really love this book.
We are here for our book club.
Okay, let me get that off.
The book
Sorry.
club this month is Why They Buy by Cheri.
Okay. I don't know what I did there, Lena. Sorry about that. Okay, so the book club this month was Why They Buy by Cheri, which is a really awesome book. I really, really loved this book, and I love how it went into the different personality types. And a lot of us have probably done personality types tests. Like I've done quite a few of personality type tests in the past. And they're great, they're fantastic, but they kind of like tell you about you and how you interact. And what I loved about this book is it looked at the personalities from the perspective of why people make buying decisions, which is really great because I love how the book starts off. It doesn't matter what you do, you are in sales. So I used to work with a lot of public servants and they'd be like, we're not in sales. And I'm like, you are. Everyone is in sales. You're selling your project to get to the next step. What recommendation you're making on a policy, like you're still like selling that to the person who makes the final decision. You might not be selling a physical product or a service, but everyone is in sales no matter what they do. So I think this is really important for us to understand. If you're watching this on the live, if you want to jump on the Zoom call, we are on Zoom ID 279295. 8903. I'm going to put in the comments if you're on Facebook Live, because we'd love to have you over in Zoom and be part of the conversation with us as well. So I'm just putting that down there. So basically this book, it goes into 4 different personality types. So there's the B, which is the blueprint, the A, which is the action, the N, nurturing, and the K, knowledge. So me, I am in the format of an A first, action is my main one, and then N, nurturing, then B, so A, action, B, blueprint, N, nurturing, and K, knowledge. So that is how I would make my buying decision. So I'm like someone who's really fast to make a buying decision. If, you know, I see it's good, I see other people think it's good, like I'm in, I'll like just make my decision really quickly. Whereas some personality types, they will take longer. They need more information. They need to check everything off and things like that. So, hey, Lena, do you know what bank code you are? Lena's
Hi,
on
Nicole.
the... Yeah.
Hi, Nicole. Yeah, I think I did one when you posted on Facebook. I'm an NBAK.
NBAK. Okay, so nurturing. So that is like in our community that we work with ASEA, nurturing is the most common personality type. They really care about community and making people feel good and helping people. Like that's what's really important to nurturing types, and, you know, the contribution, being of service, that kind of thing. So we have like a lot of people who are predominantly nurturing types in ASEA. So the way that you would talk to a nurturing type is different to the way you would talk to the other personality types. So it's great to be aware of this. Hey, Kylie, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
That's good. Hey, do you know what bank code type you are? Have you done the test?
Yeah, I have. NKBA.
NKBA. Okay, awesome. Great. Well, it's good we've got a little bit of variation. What were your secondary ones, Lena?
B.
B. Yeah, that totally makes sense because you were an accountant and financial controller, and that's kind of the things that are really that personality type in particular is drawn to. So what I thought we would do is talk a little bit about the different types, and in relation to ASEA, have a bit of a discussion. Oh my goodness, what have I done? Around what would be the way that you would have a conversation if you knew their type. Hey, Diana, do you know what your type is?
Mine is NKAB.
NKAB. Okay, fantastic. Maybe if we put them in the chat box, then we can refer back to them. Okay, so we're just going to go through each of the personality types, like just the overview and like each of the different codes, and have a little bit of a discussion around there. So blueprint is the first one that we'll start with. And a couple of things I really picked up from the book, and I've got some notes, so I'll post them in the comments. I've actually taken some really great notes from the book. So on each of the 4 types, I'll post them in the comments so people have them to refer to. They can come across as kind of cold. Their key motive is to protect themselves from danger. It's better be safe than sorry. So they don't want to see something as risk. So what was really interesting reading this is the word opportunity can be a turn off for them because they would see that as a risk rather than as something like an A would see, oh, opportunity, what's that? Like, I need to find out more about it. So different words are great. Different words and triggers and ways of different appeal to different personalities. So they really like stability, structure, systems, plan, processes, predictability, responsibility, tradition, titles. So something like this, if you're talking to a blueprint, they love titles, respect, authority. You might want to use someone for third-party validation who has a title like me, like Ambassador Diamond or a diamond or something, because they're going to be like, that's awesome, because that's important value to them. Whereas for other personality types, that might not be such a big deal, right? So some of they had top buying triggers for a blueprint were, number 1, staying in their budget. Number 2, excellent written details describing the product or service. So, you know, they want to have everything written out so they can kind of see it. A positive reputation of the company or person they're buying from, positive recommendations from people they know, and positive overall product service ratings from customers. So they're looking for all of like that kind of like backup stuff. Tips for working with a blueprint is to be professional, organized, and on time. In fact, they will often turn up early. If you're meeting with them, they'll often turn up early to the meeting. So even be early. Have a step-by-step plan. So a very structured way of telling them about the products, the company, the business. Don't be pushy or exaggerate. Like if they very, you know, kind of like steady and factual, stay within budget, have your facts straight and resources in place so you can show proof to back up your claim. So know where you would send them for extra information, show them the system for success, like what they'd need to do, and minimize their risk to get involved. So tell them about the 30-day money back guarantee is going to be a great thing for a blueprint. So thinking about those things about blueprint, I'm not sure if all of you have read the book right through. What do you think would be a good thing tools and a good things to incorporate into your approach if someone is a predominant blueprint personality type with a seer? Like what would you kind of lead with a blueprint?
I think the reputation in the history of the company would be really good. Things about the company's been around for 10 years and it's in 33 different countries, debt-free, doesn't need to source anything for its product or its manufacturing from any other country.
Yeah. How about you, Kylie?
As you were talking, Diana, I was thinking about the growth of the company. You know how everyone goes, oh, ground floor. No, that's not where you want to be. You want to be on the upswing. You want to be on the trajectory that's moving forward. And that might be something that a blueprint would want, because it shows that there's little risk and lots of planning.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Just me though.
Yeah, totally. No, they want, like, it says, you know, they like the details. They like to see things like that. So how about you, Lena? What do you think would be appropriate for a blueprint? Because you have a lot of blueprint in you as well.
Yep. I think you need to actually share a seer company as it is, like, you know, who is a seer, the genesis, the ranking in direct network marketing business, in direct sales business is important. And, you know, the track record, you know, like the last 10 years, you know, how they started, who are the founders from, and then, you know, I need a bit of a science. I think they would like the science.com, just to have a good presentation covering everything from the corporate to the product to the business and a testimonial. That will keep the blueprint, I think, focused and interested. Short and sweet. You can't be draggy and dry.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to be kind of to the point, but also provide detail for a blueprint. So it's not like as much detail as a knowledge. So yeah, I was just like reflecting on this myself and thinking, okay, so if I was like sending them to say to Amazing Molecules, I might point them, as you said, Lena, to the Genesis, because they want to know, you know, that the company, like they need to know the company's solid. Maybe they see an opportunity video, and then I'd probably bring their attention to, okay, if you want more detail and all the facts and figures, go down the bottom and there's actually documents about specific things about the product and the business, because they might like to read it in detail rather than necessarily just watch a short video. Okay. And like, then they might come back with some questions around that. So that's the kind of things I'd be looking at for a blueprint. But yeah, you were all right. Like that secure, like that the company's solid and stable, that they can manufacture and deliver the product and those kind of things. That's what they're going to be interested in knowing about. So awesome. It's fascinating, different types. So next one is action. So there's not so many. I'm like that of these, like this is like a lower percentage of people have A as their first thing in a SEA. So I'm an A. I like to race around everywhere, and I think it drives poor Justin crazy sometimes as well. I used to be called the get shit done girl. That's like literally what people used to call me in corporate. So pretty funny.
I think Emma is the same as you, isn't she? Do you remember?
Maybe, yeah. So yeah, I think my daughter is one too. So poor Justin has got his work cut out for him now. I think Joy is an A as well. So action values is freedom. Like, so we want to have freedom in every way. We want financial freedom. We want time freedom. We don't want to like be stuck in a schedule. We want to be able to do things spontaneously, but we also like to like do massive action. Like, so, you know, get like super like in hyperdrive on things, right? Like I've worked on projects where I'll work like 12, 16 hours a day and I'll just be like, not so much now I have a child, but I used to be able to do that for I had a child, like, you know, just go, pump it all out and get it all done. So get bored very easily when things aren't exciting. So you do need some action. Yeah, you do need to like keep yourself entertained with different things. Like for me, that's even in things like exercise. Like I have to like do different types of exercise and things like that, or I get bored. Find a way for them to win, make it fun. Action likes to have a lot of fun. Also, image. Action can be concerned about image. And so for me, that's like not necessarily in a vain way about my own image, but like if I like look at a PowerPoint and it looks like a dog's breakfast that like a 2-year-old has made, like I can't even take in the information. It has to be like all neat and tidy and the colors have to match and stuff.
And no spelling mistakes.
Oh no, that's a spelling mistakes don't bother me. Because I make
tons
of mistakes because I'm always going so fast that I make spelling mistakes. But it has
my head explode.
Yeah, that's right. See, it's different personality types. But like my house has to match and things like that as well. Like it has to be like coordinated in the colors and stuff like that. So top buying triggers for an action is things like celebrity endorsements. That wouldn't really get me, but would a lot of action types. Media or social buzz. So it's like, you know, getting in and seeing all the testimonials in the Facebook group and stuff like that. I'll be like, oh, wow, what's that? Automated recommendations. So for example, you purchase X, you would be interested in Y. So I hear a lot of people complain about like Facebook advertising to them. People think that like, you know, that they've been Googling and then they get an advertisement for like something that's related to it. I love it because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I want. And I will buy it. Like, I'll be like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Reviews in relevant publications as well, and their gut feelings. So that's definitely true. I'll be just like, hey, that feels right. And I'll just go and do it. Like, I don't really need a lot of things convincing. So sales tips for an A is be cool and dress to impress. Display excitement and enthusiasm. So you have to bring a bit of energy when you're talking to an A. skip small talk, get straight to the bottom line. We like to go fast, have a sense of urgency, sell the dream and the lifestyle and all of that kind of thing. I just laugh when I read this out. It's kind of funny. Don't overload with details, charts and information. And introduce to other successful A personality types. So other people that are the same personality types. If you come across an A that, you know, you're really interested in getting the business, I would be a great person to introduce them to out of our diamond leadership. So none of the other diamond leaderships have A as their primary type, and I do. So I'd be a great person to introduce another A to, because we'd be like, blah, 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 probably talking over the top of each other and going a million miles an hour. But that's what A's are like. So, yeah, so that's the A type. Hey, Terry, I see you've joined us. So if you want to put if you've done your bank code and you want to put it in there, just pop it in the chat box so we know yours as well. So with an A, what sort of things do you think that would be good to send an A?
I'm thinking of my son here, whose tourism business has gone down the googler a bit. And he is already making his business plan for next year and thinking of all the ways he can diversify. And he's mad about the future, about future technology, about Tesla vehicles, etc. So I'd be talking to him about that excitement about the future.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else have an idea of what you'd send an A?
Well, recent experience. Lastly, I sent her Nicole.
Yes, that's a good answer.
But previous to that, what did I send her? I sent her Science of a Seer, because she's all about the innovation.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it was just future. Where can I take this? What can I do with it? You know, what's it going to be good for? And it's all with me. It's the whole what's in it for me thing. With me.
Mm.
And, you know, I mean, some people might not see that as a good thing. I see that as a great thing, because with me means what's in it for me too, because she does well. We all do well.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, hit the with
types.
me. Tell them what's in it for them.
Oh, Terry's an A as well. Okay, awesome. So, Lena, what would you send to an A?
Oh, A. I think everything has to be short and quick. Maybe, you know, all this short video, like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you know, telling you about the goodness and effectiveness and how everything has to be precise, short, and fast and interesting. Like, you know, like what Asia Global is doing a lot in the video, not too long.
Yeah.
Into the point. I think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're bang on, Lena. So for an A, if you like send them a 1 hour webinar, they will never, like, I won't even open it if someone sends me something that long. So people obviously send me things to watch sometimes about other things, and you just wait. Like, I'll look, and it has to be like under 15 minutes for me to even contemplate opening it. So A's, short and to the point, is probably the biggest thing. What they're interested in, find out what aspect they're interested in, and then send them something that is like, if they're interested in the business, send them a 10-minute video on the business. Really, really short and to the point and quick. Like, I personally will often prefer to read things because I can do it faster than watching something. So that's the most important thing with A. You're right on it, Lena, is to the point, because they won't sit and watch a like 1 hour webinar with Samuelson or something like that. They just won't.
Yes.
Can something just crossed my mind? Would it be worth formatting a bit of a structure that we can actually use, like with our resources that we have? I mean, I don't know everything that's available. I'm sure that you guys know stuff that's available that I don't know. And like, you know, what would be best for an N, a K, a B, or an A? You know, how is it possible to kind of work out an almost foolproof strategy?
There's never
stuff.
I don't think there's ever anything completely foolproof.
Oh yeah, I know that.
But I'll be like, you know, if I'm, say, for example, sending someone to Amazing Molecules and like they're an A who's interested in the business, I'm going to go to Amazing Molecules, watch the ASEA opportunity 15-minute video, come back to me. if they find that really interesting, they might look at a couple of other things. Like if it was me, I'd watch that and then I'd go straight to all the PDFs and just like scan through them like quickly, like literally 2 minutes on each PDF, and I'd be like, got it. Okay, it works on your genes. Got it. Works on this. Got it. And I'd be like, that would be enough for me, right? Whereas you get someone who is a knowledge type, they're going to go there and they're probably going to watch everything.
I wonder if my N part of my nature obstructs me from actually catering to each of the personalities, because I just care so much about caring.
That's I think that's one of the things that, so it'd be really great for you to read this book. It's one of the things where N's, because Justin is an N too, they'll spend so much time caring, and like he got into this point where he was doing all of these mentoring groups and all of these calls and giving so much, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna burn out. Like you can't you can't be there all of the time for everyone. Like I know you want to be, but you can't, and you got to learn that other personality types, they don't actually want that. They don't want you to do that. Like I'd be like, get out of like my face, just let me get on with it, you know? So it's not making people right or wrong. It's just you understanding that people are different. No one is right or wrong. And if I meet an N, I'm gonna have to spend a lot more time with them and, you know, talk to them and things like that. But it's understanding that difference of where people are, right? So yeah. So it is really, really, and you know, I have to like, I'll talk about it a bit as we go through all the other personality types. You know, I have to really give myself an understanding of them, because they're not strong in me, like particularly the K's, and they like have a gazillion freaking questions, the ones that about the science, and they just want to goes on. And for me, that is challenging. So, but I have to be like, that is what they need. Okay, here's more. Okay, so it's not that they're not wrong, I'm not right, it's just different, and we're all as human beings, right? So nurturing, let's move on to nurturing, and things that you would probably be talking to a nurturing type about is going to be, you're going to be probably having more of a conversation than just sending something with a nurturing person, right? So there's a little hint for you. So they value relationships, being authentic, so genuine, not like being like selling the Ferrari and all of that. They don't care about that. It's like being genuine and real. Personal growth, they want to like the products and the opportunity to create a feeling of personal growth. They want to be part of a team, be involved in a community. They want to know that it's got a charitable purpose. They want to know about the ethics, the morality, contribution, and things like that. So it's different kinds of, so you're nodding, Kyla, you're like, oh, I get all of this stuff, right? Because you're an N, and Lena gets it all. You're an N. And that's great. Like, you know, valuable. Most of our team is N, right? Most of our team has N first. So we need to be really aware of that when we're developing things. And I need to always kind of keep that in my racy way at my mind, is the N's need all of these other things. So their buying triggers are knowing the company makes a contribution to a worthwhile cause, knowing they're buying the best possible goods or services. A positive recommendation from people they know is really important to an N, because, you know, it's all about community and others. A high quality presentation of the product or service, and excellent written details describing it as well. So the sales tips are to be authentic and genuine. Show them you care more about them than money. So you have to spend it. They have to know that you care more about them. You know, so that's different to the last one we covered, whereas an A, they want, you know, they care about them, but they want to know how to make money and how to get, or if they have a health problem, how to get better fast. Like everything is fast. They want to talk about the cause you're passionate about, how it can make a big difference. So they might have a cause that they want to use the finance of the ASEA vehicle to contribute to. They want to be introduced to people in your team. So get them connected in with people in your team so they can meet other people and get connected with the team and the group. They give big hugs or a warm greeting and maintain good eye contact with an N as well, because it's like that whole relationship thing is really important. So I think there's two things to consider in an N. Is first is what kind of information are you going to send them? But second, what are you going to do with them as well? Because the relationship is super important for them.
Well,
yeah,
I can start.
Off we go. It's
all right. So I think the most important thing for me was being dropped into the Shine Bright team.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, before that, it was Renew with Redox. So I knew there were tens of thousands of people there just like me.
Mm-hmm.
Then obviously someone twigged that I'm in it for the money too.
Yeah.
You know? The other thing is the biggest probably people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Mm-hmm.
And integrity is huge.
Yeah.
Massive.
So that's a total end saying, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and I live by it. The other thing I live by is you can't help stupid, but you can help yourself.
Yeah.
You can ask Alan Noble about that.
Yeah. So see, that's
I'm using
perfect.
that now.
Can you see how you said the first thing, the groups were important to you?
Yeah,
So
huge.
for an N, you're probably going to be better to add an N to Renew with Redox, get them their information there, then send them to a website or something, because they can not only get the content, like most of the content's in Renew with Redox, right? But they can also get the community at the same time that they're getting the understanding. They can start to get and feel that.
Yeah, that was massive because I felt like I could just drop myself in there and get totally immersed in what other people have found.
Yeah.
You know, the feel, felt, found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ends are quite easy, right? In a lot of ways, like because we have a lot of structure set up that supports ends, like with that. So how about you, Lena? What would you send an N?
Oh, I definitely would put them into the community first because, you know, and I'm speaking from I'm N. I will need to know that person. And second, I need to, know that the person is the person that I can trust. I need to like be comfortable with that person. I know that person, then only I will listen to whatever he has to offer. It's more for me, it's relationship than a year. You have a good product, but then, you know, when I know that person, I'm more willing to go and check it out. Yeah. And I think Renew Redox helped because when I first went into a SEER, I wasn't interested, but because I think Cheri put me into Renew Redox, and you know I got so excited, you know, seeing the community people posting genuine, you know, testimonial, and then I can feel it. I can feel they are all genuine, and I really want to be part of it because it's like a community that I belong to.
Yeah.
So like opposed to another business that I don't have a community so much community focus. I tend to go astray. Like I do what I want, and I don't feel connected, so I don't have the drive to want to do it. Yeah, then getting to know people in that family is important. And when I get to know that, you know, listen to Genesis of Asia and how the founder value people and how he, you know, the integrity is there, and I feel that this is for me. You know, I'm so, and then slowly I will take my time to see that how can I connect my friends and family and people out there to it. But once, you know, once I'm like have a team going with me, that's it. You know, I keep going, and I just feel that, you know, I can do a lot more because I have a team, I have a community, and you know, that's what I value. You know, so so that is what you know I feel, and helping and advancing like foundation, like giving help to charity. You know, I want to be part of it because I feel that they care about the world, they care about people, and you know, by valuing people, I think, you know, our life will be more meaningful. It's not just looking for the money. It's not in like nurturing people like me. I'm not in for the money, like, you know, only. Yeah, I'm into, you know, be able to give and take and give, not just take, but to give as well. Yeah, then I feel I'm like, it can drive my passion. Like I can just go on and keep doing this business, like, or this sharing this thing without having a boundary. That's how I feel.
Yeah. So that's all. So this is like this is like things that are important to nurturers. So get them into the community. Like that's what you've both said. And Diana, you're a nurturer as well. So they're going to start to feel that. So Lena, you said you weren't even interested. You got added to the Facebook group, and then you got interested, not just the results, but you could feel the community, right? So that's super important. So ends, you want to get them connected in. You want to get them to meet like quite a few people in their upline. and introduce them when they get started. Like, you want to make them feel like they're part of something. You want to talk about the Advancing Life Foundation with them and things like that. You really need to get connected with their heart and that nurturing side of them.
Well, I've just about to enroll another person, and I met her. She was managing the asthma op shop, and I met her when I started decluttering, and then I volunteered with her, and then she was an amazing community person. And we've just developed a really good friendship. Now, she's had so many health problems, so many autoimmune, horrendous stuff, and she got made redundant just before COVID-19, so fortunately got a small payout. So she doesn't have a job. She's applied for the pension. She's 67, but she'd like to get another job, but that probably won't happen. Her partner is a geographical information scientist, and he's got no work at the moment. And I met him for the first time. I've known her for about 4 years, and I've joked about this person being an invisible man because I didn't believe he existed. And I went to see her about 10 days ago, and I took her a tube of gel, and he came up and joined in a conversation, and she told me later, Sonny's never stopped and talked to any of my women friends like that. He couldn't believe what you were like. And then she told me today when we were talking to Jeanette, she said, I didn't tell you this bit. He thought you're only about 60. I'm actually nearly 77. Now, I've been invited to go round to their place for dinner on Sunday. And he was quite sorry when I left very quickly because I had a Zoom call that day. And his daughter, who's type 1 diabetic and not doing it very well, is going to be there as well. And so I'm going to have a talk to Jeanette now or soon and see if we can do a Zoom call, because these, and this guy, well, Marion talked to me about how many places he'd been to on these contracts with his job where he's had horrible accommodation, and people have treated him awful. You know, they've said, and he's gone to jobs down the line somewhere and he's been there a day and they've said, oh, we don't want you anymore. So they are actually sitting ducks to get into the business.
Yeah.
And
so you can okay, as I'll just pause you there. So can everyone see? So Diana's code is N, so she's really nurturing, cares about people. But her second one is K. Can you see all the K coming out in Diana there? The details of the story. So like you went into so much details of the person and the story and how you know them and all of that. So that is like a real K thing. So when someone starts to talk like that, you know they're a K, because they go into a lot of details, and do not talk to an N like that if you're trying to prospect them. That's just a hot tip.
And I think he was a K as well.
Yeah, so that's great. Like Ks are going to like, because you were going into all the details about these people, like a lot of details. So that's great if you're talking to someone who's that personality type. But if you are prospecting an A, someone who's my personality type, like they tuned out on like sentence 3.
Yeah.
They don't care. Like we're not heartless, but we just like someone whose K is right down the back. Like my K is like the last one. So this is why it's really important to observe. Like you can, if you start to practice, you'll get this through people's language. Particularly, I mean, obviously if you're doing a presentation, you have to appeal to all the personality types, right? And so, you know, I try and think about that with that, but also keep my presentations short enough to not lose the A's and the B's that they don't want you to go on and on and on, right? But it's like, listening for these cues when people are talking. So that'll be like a really good thing for you to observe, Diana, is like listening to the cues of people talking and how their words are, and doing your pitch to suit them.
Yeah. Well, I remember telling my son about my breast cancer follow-up, and I told him that I'd been for the mammogram and da-da-da-da-da. And at the end of it, I said, and I'm all clear. And he said, oh, God, I wish you'd told me that at the beginning.
Yeah, see, that's for someone like me, and this is how I communicate it. I went and had my test and it was all clear. Isn't that great? There would be there wouldn't be a story with that. So if you hear someone talking like that, they are an A. So you got to talk. If you're prospecting them and you're trying to get them interested in what you're doing, you got to talk back to them in that way, not in the way with the long story, because it won't land with someone who's very high A. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it's a good thing to practice.
I've got to
Had
get
an A
into,
there to pull you up to show you that, you know, like to go,
yeah, it was good. Yeah, I've got to get into action now and head off to my job.
okay,
So
cool. We're going to go through the knowledge.
This has been fabulous. Now, I've been looking for that book on Audible Books and it doesn't seem to
No,
be
it's
on.
not. It's only on whytheybuy.com. It's only a PDF.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go and get
Oh,
one.
okay.
Okay. And
Okay.
it's on the link of the event. So I'll tag you on the link as well. All right, let's go through the last one for the purposes of the call. So knowledge, so that when people come back and watch this, that they have the full picture. So we've only got, I don't want to go to like 12:45. So their values are learning. They love to learn and love information. I only like to do half an hour calls. So I'm already over my own comfort boundary. Learning, they're intelligent. They're very smart. They like logic. So it has to make sense with a K. They like technology. So finding a way to use technology is great with them. So you can talk about the technology a lot. They love research and development. They love science. They love you to show you're competent. They love things to be accurate. So this is where it's important that facts, figures, grammar is correct, is for the Ks, right? Big picture. So they need to see the big picture and then they're going to get like right into the details. So K is probably going to come back with like question after question after question after question. Drive the A's mad. You're gonna like pushes us to breathe, right? Like the A's that don't have many K's. Like some A's are A then K, right? My K's right down the end, so I have to like really breathe through when I'm working with a high. When I'm like prospecting a high K, like they have like 50 questions before they're ready to get started. I'm just making fun of it. Like, so I think you can learn more through fun. I'm not, you know, we need K's. We need all types of people in this world. It's important. And like these are the ones who create a lot of new inventions and things, right? K's are the ones who bring that, like all this incredible new technology and inventions and all of this awesome stuff to the world. They are the K types that are just like dig and dig and dig till they find the solution to a problem. So you'll often find them in engineering, science, programming, research type occupations. Their buying triggers are staying within their budget. Having time to do full due diligence. So, you know, we'll often do like 72-hour specials and things, which work really well, but the Ks, that's not going to get a K. They're just going to make sure they do all their due diligence first. They have all the information they need. So they come back to you with maybe a lot of questions, right? Like, where can I find this? Where can I find this? Excellent written details describing the product or service and knowing they're buying the best possible goods or service. So that's really important with the K. So sales tips for K is be smart, know your information. If you don't know it and you're just getting started, use an expert with a K, like perfect time to use an expert, and use them as an expert in the knowledge, right? Whereas with an N, you would introduce them to the people so they know the community. So you're using a three-way call or chat, different purpose with different personality types. Have the resources and documentation you can provide for them to study. So stay logical in your approach, not too much emotion, not too much excitement. Be able to, you know, defend your product, service, or business, or get them hooked up to someone who's more of an expert. Allow them to do their own research and give them time to think about it. And stay within budget. So if they say they have a budget, like stay within their budget with a K for what they are. So so that's sales tips for a K. So these are the kind of people, right, who are going to watch 1 hour Gary Samuelson webinars.
Yep.
Yeah, over and over, right, is the K type. So if they're going to go and watch them, they're going to watch the next one and the next. I have people ring me and they're like, I'm watching the webinar. So Janine is a K type. So Janine, one of our diamonds, is a K type. So has said to me, she's like, it's being an imbalance K and not letting the need for knowledge to stop you from then taking action as well. So knowledge is very important to Ks, and they are going to watch a lot of those things. So she will watch way more. Like I watch none of those things actually. Like, let's just put my hand up, be honest. I don't watch any of those like science webinars ever. Like I've never sat through an entire one. But they'll watch them because they're interested. Okay. So it's like knowing I know where they are, so I can give them to a K if I need to. I know. Okay. Yeah. They're going to really love that. So what kind of things do you think you would send a K?
All the Gary Samuelson stuff.
Yeah.
Bio, redox, study into it, like the YouTube that, you know, Dr. Gary's talking for 1 hour, detailed thing, you know, signs of a seer is a must for them.
Redox doc.
Yes, redox
Yeah.
doc is
Yep.
for them. Yeah, because I know, because K people, they drown so much into research that they don't do the action. That's what I feel when I work with K people. I feel like smacking them and tell them, you know, all these are being proven. Otherwise, you know, ASEA won't get to number 11 in the, you know, number 44 in the network marketing. They've been around for so many years. Everything is proven. The genesis studies there, but they still need to dig and keep coming back until, you know, like, until, you know, like you already, like, you know, recruited about 50 or 100 down your line. Then they come, oh, I'm ready now to
Yeah.
to try out what you do. You've been like telling me last, you know, maybe 9 months, 1 year.
Yeah. And see, and this is where it's really important to understand these different personality types, because I'm like Lena, right? Like she's, you know, like Lena's an B, but you got a lot of A in you too, right, Lena? You're a very action woman.
Yeah.
And we can get really frustrated with this, like this like needing to know another question and more research, but that is what they need. They need to know that everything is like all like, they have every question answered, that the science is real, that the company is real. They have to know everything is good before they can give you a yes.
Yes.
So
they need confirmation and validation, and third part, they need to go and check to, you know, that some other people who are using, who are not related to ASEA, that can validate that, you know, yes, it does this, you know, redox is here, it's been researched for more than 40 years, not just like 10 years, you know, when ASEA stabilized it. So until they get that, they won't even come back to you. They will just keep quiet, and they will ask for more information. Sometimes you run out of resources, and then sometimes you, like me, I'm a lot of an A person, even though I'm an N. I feel like telling them, right, what, you know, you're wasting my time. I've already given you all those things. Moving out from step 1, you know, you have to go to 2 to see, to feel the 1, because you got to use it, right? Before but they're still researching, and then they dare not use it until they get that confirmation and validation and independent endorsement. Which is like, you know, my husband is one of them.
yeah, that's why you're so frustrated, because you're married to one, Lena. That's too funny.
I joined straight away because I knew Jeanette and Jen, not very well, but I'd been working with Jeanette on life coaching and the Enneagram and so on. But I found the Envision conference was amazing, because it gave me everything I needed to satisfy all those different aspects of myself. But I can understand the whole thing about the knowledge preventing action, because we're very good at procrastination. But my energy's up now, so I'm getting really excited about really getting into it.
And like, so Janine, I think Janine's bank code, her K is first. So when Janine joined, for example, so she joined, she got a message, she looked into it, she kind of like got like that there was something there with the science, and then Cheryl got her straight on a call with myself, Justin, Bobby Martin, and Trish Schwenkler, right? And 2 hours. I think Bobby was on there 2.5. We had to go because we were like in the States snow skiing. So we're like 2 hours. We're like, well, for hour 45, we're like, we're going to cut and run now, but we'll leave you with Bobby. But she had question after, like, how many people do you do a 2.5 hour initial 3-way call with? Not many people, but that is like like a lot of questions from a K. But once they got their questions answered, once she had her questions answered, once she had a product experience, she built a business very quickly, right? And so that's where Lena's team is. So it's you do have to have a lot of patience with Ks, and if you don't have a lot of K in you might struggle with that, and you'll have to learn to cultivate that patience with Ks, because they can be really great at this. They just need everything there to make their decision. But once they made a decision, they're not like in, out. Like A's can make a decision, then the next shiny object and the next shiny object, and they can get a little bit distracted, right? But K's, once they've made a decision, they're committed. So, but they take longer to get to that. So it's just different. Everyone is different. So I think that's important. Does anyone have any other key things or comments before we finish up? I'm going to...
Yeah, I was going to say something about N, which is I personally found that quick draw video kind of, it gave me the warm and fuzzies. It's like, oh my God, you know, all these little people running around doing all these great stuff for the body, blah, blah, blah. And then the other thing about K is obviously it's second in my particular profile. I find it really, really hard to just sit and stop and listen. So I stick it on my phone, I put my earbuds in my pocket, and I can pause it, and I can do stuff that's noisy, and I can go back to it, and I can rewind it. You know, it's like I want the knowledge, but I don't want to stop to get it.
Yeah.
Because I'm too busy doing other stuff, which is, you know, looking after the house and, you know, the family and the pets and stuff that makes the world turn around. So I think it's important to let those knowledge people know that it's right there. You know, just because it's in a static, what feels like a static location doesn't mean you have to be static with it.
Yeah. I think the Audible books and the earbuds are amazing.
I just put the link to the book there in the chat box, so you can grab that and grab the book. It's not an Audible book, it's only a PDF book, so that's all that's available. That was great. That was a really good discussion. And has it given you a good idea of the different way, like if you start to get an inkling of these different personality types, the different things you might approach them with?
Yeah, thanks so much.
And even if you're sending them to a site like Amazing Molecules, right, you're probably going to direct their attention to something different on that site, because you can send them there with the instruction, go here, watch this specific thing, and you're going to direct them to what you think is going to be good for them first, or to the Facebook community for the ends. Just chuck them all into Facebook so they can be with all the other people.
It's really good. This is good.
Thanks very much, everybody.
You're welcome.
Everybody.
Thanks for your contribution, everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Cheri.
Thank
Bye.
you.
I'm gonna
Bye.
watch it when I